Good morning, Kitchen Witches. This is your tarot and menu inspiration for the day. I'm Chef Lisa, editor and chief of A Chef's Grimoire magazine, and this is our newest version. It's chapter 2, just came out in July. Check it out, achefsgrimoire.com. So we're going to pick a card. One card is going to give us our inspiration, also what we're going to look out for today, right? What we're going to think about and bring it into our day. And then that card is also going to menu plan for us. How nice. So we're going to shuffle and that's all going to happen. So with Chef's Grimoire, we do the same thing, right? In the magazine, we have 1, 2, maybe even 3 archetypes that we utilize. And we interview them, we cook with them. There's recipes that are built off of their energy, their numerology, their symbolism, right? Their meanings. And if you're a novice, not only do you learn about the card from the magazine and the deep dives we do with the cards, but also simply by cooking with them. You learn what their energies are all about. And then when you read your cards, you could say, oh yeah, that is the curried lobster salad with papadum card. Right? There you go. It's a new way to look at the tarot. New and fresh perspectives, right? So let's pick the card. Our card of the day is the Knight of Pentacles. So minor arcana. Now, most times, minor arcanas, if not all times, with the exception of the court card families, the minor arcana are ruled by major arcanas. They just are. So it's easy enough to read, right? So again, if you're a novice, have not really learned too much about the tarot, just starting, learn your major arcanas first, because their energy is infused into the minor arcanas, right? Simply by the numbers. So for instance, there's no number here, but yesterday we had the moon, I think it was yesterday, and that's numbered 18. So 18, in numerology, you take 2 digits and you add them to break them down to a single digit. So 18, 8 plus 1 or 1 plus 8 equals 9. 9 in the major arcana is the Hermit. But then you have all the minor arcana 9s, right? The 9 of Swords, the 9 of Pentacles, the Knight of Cups, and the Knight of Swords. They all have the moon and the Hermit energy in them. So if you know what the moon means and you know what the Hermit means, you can pretty much decipher what the 9s in the minor arcana mean. These court cards are a little more challenging. These are families that live within the minor arcana. And each family, with 4 members in the family, the page, the knight, the queen, the king, rule over the 4 elements. This one happens to be Pentacles, which is the element of earth. But then we also have Cups, which is emotions, Swords, which are our thoughts, and Wands, that are our passions and creativity, right? So 4 families, 4 elements, 4 members within the family. Very structured, right? 4 is very structured. So when you're thinking about the court cards, sometimes they represent other people around you, especially if it's in a spread and you get a lot of court cards. It could be people around you that you're dealing with in your day-to-day life. And what that means with the question that you have posed to the tarot reader. But court cards could also mean you. It could mean not somebody else, you. So it all depends on where they are in the deck, or where they are in the spread, and what question they're answering. And, you know, they can be a little challenging. I'm not going to lie. So how I learned my court cards, or at least I'm still learning, I'm always still learning. I go into my day-to-day and I pick out people that have that energy. So Pentacles is a slow moving earthen energy, very Taurus, right? The astrological sign of Taurus is very earthen, right? So they like to do things very, they're not speedy like an Aries, which is like, you blink, they have done 15 things. But they're slow moving, but that doesn't mean bad or good, right? Slow moving just means, think of the turtle and the hare story, right? The turtle wins the race because the hare was like, I'll beat him. I could do that race 15 times before he's done with one step. But then they procrastinate, or they put their energy into something that doesn't need that energy at that moment, where the turtle just keeps trudging on forward into the end of the race, right? And wins. They have blinders on, focused. The pentacle energy is very much like that. It's slow, steady growth. So when we're dealing with the knight and the page, they're not yet queens or kings. So the queen and the king have that element of earth down. Like, they know it inside and out. They don't make mistakes. But they utilize that energy in very different ways, right? The queen will bring it into more of a nurturing realm, more of a empress type feeling of the element, right? Where it's very earthen, it's very plush and just cascading and beautiful, right? And then the king is going to use the pentacles energy as very rigid and blinders on, and we're going for the gold, right? We're going for the gold, whatever that is to you, whatever makes you or the king feel prosperous, and have that prosperity be so much that they can give to the people and the kingdom that they rule in. Now, prosperity is just a word, right? But immediately many of us think of money. It doesn't have to be, right? Prosperity is what makes you feel rich at any given moment. Is it taking a person's hand that you absolutely love, right? Makes you feel rich. You don't need anything else. Right there, that moment is sealed just by the touch. Or is it walking in your garden, right? Or is it the place that you live, or the people that surround you, right? That costs no money. But it makes you feel rich by having it in your life. That's what prosperity is. And that's what Pentacles is all about, right? It's prosperous things that we can leave a legacy with, right? With money, you can't take it with you. You can make all the money you want in life and have a status and have everybody ooh and ah you. But when you kick the bucket, that money's not there anymore, right? Sure, you pass it on to other people, but it's not there for you. So what is it that you want to leave your legacy on? With this knight, they're looking over their lands and they're saying, the lands are perfect right now. We put in that hard work. And right now, they're great. But you know what? As I look out over the horizon, I can see a little seedling of a weed coming up. Guess what? Everybody get out the plow, get out the shovels, get out right? So everything's perfect right now, but we're still going for prosperity, going for things that are going to leave us a legacy. And maybe the legacy of this knight is that they then take over the kingdom, and the kingdom is always in this perfect state. And then everybody will remember them as the good king of the land, right? And they've made their legacy in exactly the way they wanted to. So, court cards, they're challenging, but be up to the challenge because they really are special. So we're going to bring this lovely knight into the kitchen and we're going to cook with them. So for breakfast, why not do a hash brown breakfast bowl with a jammy egg and sauteed greens? It's got a lot of earthen farm to table like goodness within it, right? Maybe it's all of the kale they just harvested from this beautifully plowed field, right? So hash browns, easy enough. You can buy them frozen or you can make them yourself. To make them yourself, use shredded potato or slice a potato very thin. You want to soak them in cold water before they're fried up in the pan, because that's going to release their starches, right? So they're not gloopy, and they'll crisp up better. And then, you pan fry them either in a cast iron pan, on your grill in a cast iron pan, or you can put them on a sheet pan in the oven. It doesn't matter. But you're going to get them to the point, you're making them into a bowl. So we're going to do the shredded, and we're going to add a little egg to them to bind, and then you put them into a muffin tin, right? And you push it down and you bake them off. So when they come out, they're crispy, and you can lift them from the muffin tin and they'll retain their shape. So that's the bowl that the rest of the ingredients are going to go into. You're going to make your eggs. Jammy egg is a quote-unquote boiled egg in the shell. Rapid boiling water, you put them down into the water, just water, no salt, into the water. The eggs can be cold, ideally, or room temperature. And then you're going to cook them for 6 to 7 minutes. That's it. Take them out, put them into an ice bath, because the ice bath is going to stop the cooking process. And when you slice into them, the whites will be set, but the egg will be runny. It's called a jammy egg. We're going to slice that, put that on top of the hash browns in the bowl, sausage, and a scrambled egg, right? That, not scrambled egg, because you have the jammy eggs. The greens, the sauteed greens. Cup, sauteed greens, a jammy egg on top, and then crumbles of sausage. Knight of Pentacles. And they could take that on the horse with them when they go into the field, right? And eat it just like that. Moving on to lunch, another handheld beauty. We're going to do chili dogs. So you get your hot dogs, whatever brand you like, and chili. You can make a vegetable chili, which is nice for summer, or you can make another meat chili or just bean chili. Doesn't matter, whatever chili you've got. If it's from a can, terrific, right? But maybe you had that a couple days ago for dinner and it's still in your fridge. So reheat it, put it on the dog, and obviously in a really nice bun. Easy peasy, and lunch is done. Easy, right? And you could serve that with chips of some kind, maybe homemade kale chips or a store-bought chip, doesn't matter. We're going for the chili dog as the lunch choice of our Knight of Pentacles. Dinner, barbecue brisket. Easy enough to do. You can put it into your crock pot, so you get a nice piece of brisket. If you're going to do like maybe a Texas style, you can do a rub on the brisket of smoked paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, sea salt. Get it nice and coated, sear it in the pan, and then put it into your crock pot with a little bit of apple cider vinegar, right? That's going to give it that sour flavor. And tomato puree or a tomato sauce, and onions, sliced onions, and whatever else you want to really throw in there. If you don't want to do that from scratch, just want to use a jar of barbecue sauce, fantastic, do that. But we're going to serve it with mac and cheese because it's very earthen, right? You've got macaroni, you've got the cheese, it's nice and gooey and ooey, and it goes great with barbecue brisket. So mac and cheese from scratch. You're going to boil off your pasta. You're going to, in the pan, put some butter, put some flour. You're making a roux, R-O-U-X. And you're just going to cook that. You don't want it browning because everything in the sauce is white until you add your cheese, unless your cheese is white as well. But this is called a bechamel sauce. It's fancy, French, but it's the inner makings of any good mac and cheese. So the flour, the butter, make a roux. Slowly add your milk and it'll start to thicken up. And then it'll get a little looser, slowly adding the milk, but it won't lump up. It'll be beautiful sauce. And that's the bechamel. Now you can add your cheese. And, you know, for 10 ounces pasta, maybe 2 cups of cheese into the sauce, make it ooey gooey, and then add your pasta back in. Mac and cheese done, right? If you want to, you can pour the whole thing into a casserole dish, put a little breadcrumb on top, and then bake it for maybe 20 minutes. Baked mac and cheese is going to be more solidified, where the stovetop is more creamy. So there's a difference. But we want the creamy one because we're going to be having it with the brisket. So there you go. And if you want a vegetable, you can do an easy 6-minute green bean on the top of the stove. You can do maple Brussels sprouts. You can do garlicked broccoli, right? I mean, there's a lot of choices there. So all of the choices from the Knight of Pentacles. Great card. Court cards, yeah, they throw you off a little bit, but they're there for a reason. So let them rule the element so that you can use it to its best ability. And with that, nourish yourself. Nourish all those around you with your kitchen magic. Check out achefsgrimoire.com, and I'll see you tomorrow.